today, I actually want to explore something with you today that I truly think is one of the most undervalued and most important elements of getting to know yourself and prioritizing yourself, and that is being able to understand what your values are, what's important to you. Now, if you've ever done any kind of self-help or personal development or anything like that, you're probably familiar with the terms of values. There's a whole different million ways that you can identify your values, and that you can also label what values even are. To me, it's what's important to me and what feels good. Nice and simple like that. And that feels good to me. With that being said, though, when my life goes off on a kilter, it's often because I've neglected my values and I've started making decisions on a whim instead of being able to make more concise decisions based on what's important to me. That is the value of values. Because when you understand what is important to you, when you have clear identity on what is important to you, then you're able to make decisions that either purposely align with those things, meaning you will come more into congruency, things will start to feel more effortless, like you're more flow, or you can choose to neglect your values and make decisions for short-term gain and increase the possibility of conflict, whether that's internal conflict or external conflict, depends on the situation, of course. But your values, if you think of your values a little bit like your GPS system, they will tell you through your thoughts and feelings whether or not you're on the right path. Okay, so of course, we are talking about finding yourself and being able to express yourself confidently as a mum. So your values will help you to identify what matters to you and what doesn't. What is worth the boundary and what's worth the flexibility? What is worth the conflict and the discussion and what's worth turning a blind eye to? The values, if you can simplify it down enough, allow for easier decision making. Okay, so last year when I was floundering around stuck in the story, I realised that it was largely because also I neglected every single one of my values. Everything that was important to me, I literally put it on a shelf and put all of my focus on the here and now, what was happening around me, instead of feeling like I had more control of the circumstance. And that was because I'd let go of my values. Values, so you can understand a little bit more, and I apologise if I'm a little bit all over the shop this morning. I'll definitely edit this first part out. So over the course of 10 years, if I look over values that have sort of propped up to me as priorities over the time, I've had things like adventure and memories and trust and honesty. Like I said, honesty in particular has always been something that is really, really high up on my values. Kindness, love, appreciation, mutual compassion. These are things that help you to determine whether or not you're on the right path, because when your values are clear and you have a decision to make, you can almost do this internal checklist of, okay, if I make this decision, will it honour the things that are important to me? Will it honour honesty? Will it honour my sense of adventure? Will it honour, compassion and kindness to one another? Or will it put me in a position where none of those things are met? And this is the power of a value, because when you know that and you can run through your little checklist before you make decisions, you can go into a situation with your eyes more open. Because not every decision that you make is going to honour or reflect every single value that you have. And that's just a harsh reality of life. But if you can be more mindful of the things that are really, really important to you, and you can allow them to lead you into the decision-making process, then when you identify that something is going to be maybe rubbing up against a value in a way that is less than desirable, you can have a backup plan. And that puts you into more control. It allows you to express yourself more coherently because you're aware of the potential downfall of it and also the success of it. So you plan yourself a little bit better, if this makes sense. So core values are the things that speak to you through your feelings, in that you will feel aligned, things will feel easy, they're fluent, you feel like you have more grace and peace when you're in alignment with your values, or they'll cause more conflict. They'll cause internal resistance. They'll cause procrastination, overwhelm, frustration. They can create an intense emotional response to situations because everything internally feels off kilter.